Welcome to the final tribal council. Final three, congratulations for making it here. We will now bring in the members of the jury. Retta.
So honestly, after that last tribal council, my opinion has changed a lot. I did not think that I would be voting for this person, but what they said definitely swayed my vote. I think I'm actually going to cast it for Alex because the way that she kind of shut down Robbie was kind of badass. So I think that the way that she composed herself and also getting someone to use their idol on you is pretty cool. So I think that's how I'm going to cast my vote.
Ass.
All right, I'm still a little undecided. I'm gonna be listening to their pitches because just me being voted out as early as I was, I didn't have hands-on experience with any of them, seeing as they were all in the Cuyahoga tribe. And but it did seem like Nate had a pretty good finger on the game there. He played the immunity idol for Alex and kind of controlled that whole vote, and he seemed to be driving a lot of it. Then I don't think I'm going to vote for Alex, though. I'd said earlier after that he had saved her on that. If she had an immunity and played it on someone else, I don't think I could vote for her. And then I think she turned around and played it for Hannah the next time, so I got to probably stick with that. And I don't know, she played a good game, though. So I'm just going to keep an open mind, I guess, and see what everybody has to pitch. And I'm going to come with some well-thought-out questions. So.
Kevin.
So by default, I think I have to be leaning Sarah right now. I ruled out Nate when I got voted out. I told the camera straight up it would be my only time writing his name because he wouldn't get my vote at the end. So Nate's ruled out immediately. I got to hear a little bit more about Alex's game because from our perspective, it looks like she just basically rode his coattails the entire time. And the entire jury pretty much feels that way. So she's really got a lot of explaining to do. So unless she talks herself out of it, I've got to lean Sarah at this point. And it's really nothing to do with her gameplay. It's just by default. So I got to hear more from her too in order to be more impressed with the vote. But
You're pretty locked in. You're not going to really be swayed.
I can be swayed.
Do you think, can Nate say anything to get you to vote?
No, I already said that I already ruled him out.
So it's between Alex and Sarah.
It's between the ladies right now. Yeah, they got a lot of explaining to do. Nate's played a great game, but he disrespected me early on. I asked him for a conversation when it was merch time, and he shut down. He said, "If you want to do it for looks, I guess." And then we never had a conversation, so he never wanted to play with me. He's not getting my vote as a result.
Rome.
I think Nate definitely played the best game, but I also, unlike my fellow jury, I think Alex actually played a damn good game too. And I'm going to give her the chance to explain it because the rest of my jury doesn't think that. So I think Nate did, but I'm actually completely undecided. I have some damn good questions for them, and I'm ready to hear what they have to say. Right now, I'm undecided.
Okay.
I really want to see how they answer my questions because I have some damn good ones for them fuckers.
Maddie.
So since the very beginning, my thing, I've said it in tribals, I've said it in all my other confessionals, is I was here to play, but I was here to play hard. I like big flashy moves. I like to see things happen. And that's why I was trying to get Nate or Alex out from the get. I could never pull enough people on my side to get them out. I've said for multiple votes, they're the biggest threats. They're not going to vote each other out. Nobody will listen to me. And now they're both sitting at the end. I think Nate played a better game than Alex, though, because he seemed to be loyal to all his people. Alex flipped too many times. It got a little too messy.
Okay.
I don't know. Wait. I don't know if the jury's going to go that route, because I think a lot of the jury members don't want one of those two to win, which is a fair, valid point. But what I want to see is what Sarah has to say about her gameplay and how she didn't just get accidentally drugged there and that it was intentional. So that's going to be the question that's going to sway my vote one way or the other.
Okay. So are you still open to changing your vote, or are you locked in?
No. I'm still open to it. I wanted to see what they said at this past tribal council, and I was a little disappointed in what I heard, but I have questions lined up, so I want to see if there's a way that Sarah could sway my vote her way, but unfortunately, it's going to be between Nate or Sarah for me.
Hannah.
Well, to be honest, if Robbie would have made it through that last one, it was really between Robbie and Sarah. I think Robbie, strategically, he played a good game the entire time. Even though he's a backstabber, that's kind of what you got to do to get to the finish line. I just feel like Sarah was really sneaky the entire way through, but also kind of just, anytime you would ask Sarah, like, oh, what do you think you're going to do? She's like, oh man, like, I don't really know. Like, she never really had like an answer. She was always just kind of like sneakily getting through, and she was telling you exactly what you wanted to hear. She was good at it too. So that's why I was kind of like on board with Sarah. I think Robbie knew he was going to get out. He made a dumb move by pointing out all the jurors. I think that was, but he didn't make it through, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Nate, I believe, deserves my vote. And even though he was a big backstabber in the entire game, he did it well. He backstabbed well. He had me believing to a T that I was on his side, that we were allies. And he just ended up dragging the two people that he knew he could drag the entire way up into the finish line. And he drug them all the way because he knows exactly what the jury's going to do. And he played it well. I think playing that type of game and getting two people to trust you that much to get you all the way to the finish line is exactly what he was trying to do. And he did it well. I was obviously a threat to him, so he was going to vote me out either way. But yeah, I think Sarah and Alex just kind of coattailed and got him to where he is. And I think sometimes when you play a quieter game, it's not necessarily the better way to play.
And Robbie voted out at the last tribal council.
I'm voting for the meteor to strike, man. None of those people deserve it. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, those three have genuinely played a good game. There's no undeserving winner there, but there is probably one more deserving. I haven't made up my mind yet. I'm kind of a undecided juror, as Jerome calls it right now. Some people have their minds made up. Some of us are still kind of thinking. I haven't had a lot of time to watch the game. You know, I haven't gotten to see all the stuff they have. You know, I haven't gotten to go to the hot tub. When do I get to go to the hot tub? But yeah.
You're undecided.
I'm undecided. I think Nate has played the best game. I'm not sure it's the game I'm going to vote for to win because although he did play the villain role, I need to see him own it. If he stands up at Tribal and owns up that he got blood on his hands, he backstabbed people, this and that, did what he had to do. But also at the same time, there's backstabbing and playing the villain role, but then there's just straight up being very unreliable, untrustworthy, wild gun that really has no style. You know, the guy would tell people something and then tell them to tell me that even though it's false, and I would know it's false. And, you know, it's just, yeah, I can't respect being lied to that much. You know, you can only lie to someone so much before they get a little mad.
All right.
But Sarah and Alex have played a good game too, but I need to get my questions jotted down and really hammer away at them.
Jury, please take your spot over there in the back room. When it's time to address the final three, I will call you up. You will take your spot in that chair, and you will say what you're going to say. So, just so everybody is clear on how this is going to go, I'm going to give each of the final three a moment to make an opening statement, maybe anything that they want to get out of the way before the questions start. Each jury member will then come up. They'll address each member of the final three, ask whatever questions they want to ask, make a statement if need be, and then I'll give the final three a chance to make a closing statement, and we will vote, and we will officially declare a winner of Survivor Lakewood in the inaugural season. So with that, I'm going to pass the microphone to Alex here, and Alex, you will start, address the jury, and give us your opening statement.
Hi guys. So honestly, I did not expect to be here at the end, but I'm happy to be here, and I do think that the way I played, you could counteract the loyalty on Hannah's end, but I would like to talk to her about that eventually. because I do feel like I did play a loyal and hard game and a very emotional game. I definitely made mistakes along the lines where it could have and might actually bite me in the ass, but there's reasoning for it, and I would like the chance to talk about things. But just know that like every name I wrote down was difficult, and I really did try to push through every option I could and go through there, and I'll answer any questions you guys have.
Yeah, I'm definitely very excited to be here. These are the two people that I wanted to sit with, and not because I don't respect their games, but because I played a loyal game and I played closely with both of them. I think my game was well-rounded and one that was built on a lot of connections. I know there might be some hard feelings, but I promise that none of the moves I made were with malicious or malintent. Just a matter of doing the best thing for my game and playing with the people I trusted the most. So, I'm sure I'll probably have to answer some tough questions tonight, but I hope I can win you guys over and you guys can respect the game I played, because I played really hard and I'm proud of it.
So calm. Hi everyone. I'm also so excited to be here. I feel like people might discount my game as being a little bit more quiet than others that we've seen. However, I feel like it was a well-rounded game. A lot of people might think that I was just a tug-along to the end here, but I'd like to answer some questions and get some more info on how that all happened and the connections I had within different circles to ensure my safety here at the end. It was all strategic. It was all planned. So there's stuff I'd like to share with you guys to make sure you all know that this was intentional. It wasn't like a tug along here to the end for me to be just included. It was a little bit quieter than some people might have liked to see. However, I think the safe game is sometimes a long game.
Okay. With that, thank you for your opening speeches. The power now will officially shift over to the jury. Jerome, why don't you start us off here?
Congratulations, guys. To all three, seriously. Me and Rob probably know the most out of this game out of all of you here, and honestly, you guys played a damn good game. I can't criticize anybody. You got to the end. I always respect a finalist. I'm going to go as you guys up here, left to right to me. This is going to be a little harsh, but you guys know, that it's all the love. Alex, you told me from the beginning, we pre-gamed together. You told me you were an alliance, and you never talked strategy with me. And anything you gave me was a crock of shit. So, listen, you constantly were throwing my name around from the beginning. Said that I threw your name around. Your name never came out of my mouth. So hold on, I'm not done. And so I don't. Listen, if you never wanted to work with me, I would have respected you just telling me, because you didn't. But however, I'm hearing some things about how some people don't really respect your game as much. And I, however, do respect your game. I think you had a lot of people seem to think that Nate led you. I think that you led Nate some votes too. So I would want to give you a chance to explain what was the moves that you did lead, because I know I've seen it, I believe it, but I want you to have a chance to explain to everybody else.
Thank you. Okay, so we did pregame and everything, and then I wanted to still work with you, and then you were on the other tribe, which I was like, okay, that's fine. I came in when we merged, and I saw that you, Kevin, and Maddie were working together. I thought I lost you. And then I got told, I forget by who exactly, that that my name got thrown out of your mouth. And I was like, what the hell? Like, why? Because you're right. I didn't have a chance to talk to you because I never was given that opportunity. You were pulling Nate downstairs. When Merge started, you pulled him right away. Said, Nate, I need to come talk to you about you having an idol. I was standing right there. You didn't come grab me, so why would I think you want to work with me? That's not fair. And then I wanted to give the chance, and I told you straight up, your name did come out of my mouth. I played that honestly because my name came out of your mouth.
But it never did.
Okay, but when you're told something, Jerome, you're gonna believe it. And I heard it from multiple people. So when you're hearing it from multiple people, that's gonna happen. And yeah, you're good at this game. So why wouldn't I? If you're working with Nate, you're working with Kevin, you're working with Maddie, from what I'm observing, and when I'm standing right there and you not once pulled me downstairs and said, I have an idol, that's a slap in my face. So why would I give you the same respect in that moment when I'm hearing all of this? So that's horseshit. You can say that all you want. And I even said in our text message, we can play, but I don't want this to be obvious, and I'm a little nervous about it. So you can say that I gave you all this alliance, but I didn't. I full on did not give you a straight answer because I was scared, and you proved me right that you didn't have me. You had Nate. So I was in your back pocket for that. So you're sitting here getting mad that me and Nate work together. You and Nate work together. So I don't want to hear it. And I'm sorry, but like it's bullshit because I played loyal to you, but you didn't. From the moment the merge happened, you pulled Nate downstairs and I found the idol when we were in tribal. So I don't think that's fair. I respect it and I understand it. That's what you needed to do, but I'm not going to be attacked for something that I didn't do because I wasn't even given the opportunity.
Okay, fair enough, but explain I see it a little bit differently. That's fine. I'm not holding it nothing against you.
No, I know.
But explain the move you direct, the moves you directed.
Hannah move.
Okay, that was all under your direction and your leadership and your okay.
And I would love to explain how that happened and why that happened.
Well, you can take that with Hannah's time because I got other people to talk to. But congratulations, you did a hell of a job.
Thank you.
But okay. On to the next one here. Nate, going in, we had a pregame alliance. You told me multiple times I was your number one. Clearly, Alex was your number one. You also talked about, you knew, because I told you, that in-game things change. We both know it's pretty variable, right? And in-game, Maddie clearly became my number one. I think everybody knew that. Multiple times, whenever I tried talking about getting rid of your people, you kind of weren't on board with it, but multiple times you wanted to get rid of my number one. So were we ever actually number ones? Because I don't think we were. I also think you did play a hell of a game, and I think you guys ultimately formed a great trio, and that's why you're here. I'm not disrespecting it, but I don't think we were ever actually as tight as you led on to believe.
I disagree, to be honest. I think I had talked with numerous people pre-game, but I had full intent on playing with you. I was super happy that we were still clearly in agreement on that once the merge happened, sharing
And we did
information.
work together heavy pre-game. I think we were both pretty much the first people who discussed that we had an idol openly with each other.
Yeah, we exchanged that, and I was happy to exchange that information.
Well, same at the time, not later.
Well, and we both discussed that we wanted to keep our people around, and I said, Jerome, I'd like to play with you. I understand at some point that would require me cutting one of the people that I'm close with, but if I'm going to do that, you would have to be open to the same idea. Going into that vote, I was left in the dark. That was going to be the only vote that I was left out on. After we had that conversation about who we were going to vote for, you had told me that we were going to vote Robbie and tell Robbie that it was Sarah. And I was like, okay, I guess that's the plan we're going with, because I thought you and I and Maddie were working together. I pushed from the start, actually, that it should be the three of us and you and Maddie to work together, and nobody wanted to do that except for me. Then I come to find out that you were leaving me out of that vote and trying to take Alex out. And I said,
I did tell you right before the vote that it was Alex.
That did not happen. Maddie came downstairs and told me it was Alex and said that nobody wanted to tell me. She specifically said, you didn't want to tell me because you knew we were really close and that it might mess up the vote. So at that point I said, you know what? Alex has been super loyal to me. Clearly everyone else is leaving me out of this vote. I'm playing my idol on Alex. And the reason I ended up choosing you wasn't anything personal, I guess, related to be letting left out. But if I'm going to play my idol, I still wanted to be in a power position in the game. And taking your idol out ultimately benefited me. It actually came back and played in my favor after we took you out. So it wasn't anything personal. I did feel like working with you, but once I found out I was going to be left out of that vote, I said, well, at that point, what loyalty is there? I have to make a big move and protect the person that isn't, concealing something from me.
All right. Sarah, I think that you played a good game too, but I want to know one decision that was your lead decision. You called the dogs, you called the vote. Which vote did you call? Because I know that we had talked about the Alex, pushing to get Alex out, which we had the numbers. I was just a moron, didn't play my idol. That's my own fault, not any of your faults. And Maddie told me to play it too. I should have listened to her, whatever. But so what vote did you decide, and how did you, after betraying both of them, jump right back in and work with them immediately and then get to the end where you are?
So I think a lot of people think that I played extremely closely with Nate and Alex, and I would say I played in tandem with them. I played parallel to them. I wouldn't say I played completely in either or of their pockets. I'm not going to sit here and take credit for any big moves because, in all honesty, I'm going to completely honestly say this. I didn't have a big, gigantic move. It was a series of small, calculated moves to make sure I had the right people in the right courts saying, no, let's not do Sarah, let's do somebody else. And that's ultimately what led to me sitting here right now. It's I think it's better to be honest with you guys and say, no, I didn't have a flashy game. And
Sure.
I think we see this a lot, that the people that play the flashy game might initially look great to everybody. However, the safe game is a lot of stuff that's discounted.
Okay. And how did you get back in, jump right back to work with them? Or did you work with them on the next vote to get Maddie out after me? After
you? No.
Okay. So you waited a little while to jump back.
I didn't vote with, I did not vote for Maddie, that vote after you. I think it was Hannah that went home after you.
No,
Maddie went home. Maddie and then Hannah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I didn't.
I'm not going to take up any more of anybody's time. Good job, guys. I'll have to come to a decision now.
And just to clarify, respectfully, Sarah, we voted together all but 2 votes. In the 2 votes that you didn't vote with me, I was on the right side of the
Right.
line.
Yes, I was on the other side.
Just wanted to clarify that for everyone.
Okay. Pass.
Like, sure, good. Yeah, so my questions are a little bit more general, probably geared towards all of you. I don't have any specific instances to point out too much, but I guess just going down the order here, my first inquiry is, why should I not vote for your other 2 competitors? What mistake did they make that you thought could cost them the game?
I think it's this. My answer kind of depends on which route. So this, whatever. But I think for why you shouldn't vote for Nate is, to Robbie's point, he was playing everyone like a freaking fiddle, and I just don't. He's saying the loyalty. He's saying all this, but he played every single person, and personally, he had my back. I'll agree, but he burned every single person here at one point. Except for me, and it seems like except for Sarah. So if he burned him, he burned him. If that's the game you like, I respect it. If that's the game you don't like, I would like you to at least realize that. Oh, Sarah. Sorry. So really I haven't really got to work with Sarah, but I also think that she really doesn't seem to have any. She even admitted big moves, which you don't always need, for sure. She earned her way to the end, which I respect. It seems like a lot of lying that came out and playing both sides as well, too. Which I guess could help her, but I know. I was maybe that was for my best. Sorry. That's okay. That's okay. You can say whatever you'd like.
Yeah, I appreciate the question. I think this gives me an opportunity to open it up a little bit. I think for Alex, my big reason that you should vote for me over her is that I think her being here is a direct function of my desire for her to be here. I wanted her to play with me the entire time. We played loyal together, but at the end it was my decision to save her when everybody else wanted to cut her out. We were aligned for a lot of the votes, but even when she found the idol, she stayed loyal to me. We played it together. We took out a mutual target. I was always on the right side of the boat. I think Sarah did play a good game, The fact that she was able to switch and not vote with us and then get us to work with her again after is an impressive feat. But my name was written down less times than her, and I didn't have to kind of hide in plain sight. I think I played a very active game. People knew I was a threat, and I still managed to not get votes, even after the big Jerome blindside. So I think I just played the most well-rounded game out of the three of us. I think everyone is a good competitor, but I think when you look at the resumes, mine sticks out.
And I'll speak to that votes aspects that Nate just brought up. He said he got voted out or had his name written down less than I did. I want you to know that's one less than I did. He was 1, I was 2, and the 2 was
Another count.
all my love, a spite vote from Robbie. So it was the fact that he could have written down me or Alex at that point, and could have even written down himself if he really wanted to, but that would have been silly. Back to your question, Alex. Love ya. If you wanted to vote for me over Alex, I think it's just because I think the game has been a little messier. I do think you've had some really good intentional moves. However, I think when you put our games up against each other, mine was calculated in a way of playing both sides. Hers might have been a little bit more messy of switching the votes around, trying to figure out who to vote for. Mine was having informants in the right circles. Nate, again, you've also played a wonderful game. But with putting our games up against each other, I think that you should vote me over Nate in the sense that, sorry, I'm like flustered. I'm talking in circles.
Yeah.
Don't you hate that? Nate has played a well-calculated game. However, he has played everybody in this room. And he has made everybody think that they're their number one. He has texted people. He has been informing people of different things. However, it's yes, calculated to bring us both to the end here, maybe, but at the same time, it was to burn everybody else as well. So keep that in mind.
Can I have another comment? So I will say, like, I could have taken Sarah out instead of Hannah, and that was one thing that honestly,
I do appreciate that.
yeah, so that was I keep like doing this loyalty card, and I genuinely, and I get it, I get the messy part of it completely, which I will admit to this day that like I got myself in trouble, and that is why I had all those votes. And if that's one thing I could have changed, I would have changed it completely, because I decided to talk all my ideas out rather than digesting it in my head or writing it out, and it got me in trouble, and I completely understand that. But you can also make the argument that Nate saved me for sure, and I appreciate that to death, but I could also sit here and be like, I could have flipped on him too. There was a chance for me and Hannah were talking about getting him out. I could have flipped. Stop. No. So I could have flipped on him, and so he can say, yeah, I'm here because of him. I'm here because of him. Yeah, but to the point, he's also here because of me. So I don't think that's a fair statement either.
The only thing I have to add is that we were both the swing on the Hannah vote. We were both in the middle on that, so I don't think I don't think either of us should be able to take full credit for that. Is what I'm saying. I'm not claiming it's my move, but we were both in the middle because we both agreed to vote the same way on that vote. And again, I wanted to protect Sarah, but it was a group decision. So okay.
Got that?
Yeah, I actually have one more question. Although you did just answer it, I was just gonna say, is there any move in the game that you would have done differently? So I know you just spoke to that, so I'll just ask Nate and Sarah.
No, to be honest, like I said, I was already on the right side of every vote. The only vote that I didn't have absolute full control of, I guess, would be the Maddie vote, and that's only because at the last minute the votes were changed and we had to play the idol that Hannah and I found together on Hannah instead of Alex. But the votes otherwise went exactly how I wanted. I think, Alex, were you on the right side of every vote? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, we were both on the right side of every vote. The Jerome blind side, I think kind of the marquee point climax of this game was my big play. I think it was the biggest play of the game, so...
Yeah, when you say the right side of every vote, for the Jerome vote, it was only 2 votes. I know that's you two clued each other in and played just 2 votes to get somebody out, which it works. It's a good move. I just want to say, like,
It's true, but you thought you were leaving me out to vote out Alex.
I did.
It was my decision who went.
So I just, again, wasn't in your pocket. You know, that's, if people are worrying, that's why they wouldn't vote for me. I'm just, again, whatever. I liked the game I played. I really didn't want it to be a flashy game. I didn't want it to be a sneaky game. I didn't want it to be messy. I wanted to know who knew what and know who had what information to make sure that I was well informed and my name was kept out of people's mouths by people that were protecting me. And in the long run, you can't play this game by yourself. You do have to have alliances, and you do have to have people that are going to look out for you, because you will not make it to the end by yourself.
Okay, thank you. Congratulations on making the final 3.
All right.
Thanks,
Pass.
Hello, everybody. Congrats for making it where you are, because I'm not there. So that means you are. It's a big accomplishment. All right, I'm going to start with Nate. How do you think your aggressive gameplay stands up to next to Sarah's less flashy game, but she also had a more loyal game?
Again, I think I made every attempt to play a loyal game here. I mean, again, from the time that we were on Cuyahoga together, I think the 3 of us that are sitting here agreed to play closely. I think the fact that these 2 did not always vote together, but I still managed to bring them here with me it's a big deal. I think my game was flashy, but again, I don't think it was malicious. I made every attempt to work with the 3 of us and you and Jerome as a 5, until it was clear that people didn't want to do that. So, you know, the votes went the way they went. I tried to play with everybody. I had genuine connections with everybody, and it ultimately played to my advantage, because although I played a flashy game, no one was targeting me at the end of the day. I only won 1 immunity, and it was the final one. And I managed to stay under the radar. So I do think, you know, people could say I made a lot of moves, it was flashier, that I was running things, but clearly no one ended up targeting me. So I would say with Sarah's game, obviously she has good relationships with people on the jury. She can say she played a loyal game, although she did play both sides at different points. But ultimately, it got us to the same place. And I think to be able to play a game that's loud and everybody watches, but you still get there, I think that is a very big accomplishment.
Thank you. Next question's for Sarah. So a little bit further into the game, you started to play really closely with me. But in the back of my mind, I always thought you were still kind of working with Nate as well, because you always didn't give a solid answer when I asked, so, oh, can we vote this person out? Oh, okay, maybe. And but you always did vote with me at that point. I want to know, was this intentional so that you could play both sides of us? Or was it just something that happened?
Again, I did enjoy playing the game with you. I feel like we did have a good working relationship. Again, it's hard in that point in the game to commit yourself to a certain group of people, a certain person, you know, instead of working the crowd almost, and knowing where your alliances lie, knowing where those relationships sit with different people in the room. And it's all about self-preservation. So to get to your point of me being a little wishy-washy on a few things, I did always end up going together, and I tried to play a loyal game with, you know, several different people in this room just to ensure that I had this spot here. It's not to discount anybody's game, because I think a lot of people had a lot of great ideas, a lot of great moves, a lot of things that I was hearing back and forth, and I wanted to know what the full picture looked like before I'm going to decide what decision I want to make.
Thank you. All right, and my last question is for Alex. Okay, when you played your idol to save Hannah was also telling you, like, hey, they're going to be playing it on me, like, you got to play your idol. It's still your choice at the end of the day to play your idol on somebody, but I feel she had a really big part in letting you know where the vote was going to go. Let me see. But you had no idea that you were protecting Hannah, who was someone that was completely blowing up your game and telling everybody all your moves. So how did you, now knowing that information after that tribal went down, how do you feel that you didn't really know what was going on? How did you come back from that and still trust people to make moves with you on the next votes?
So with the Hannah thing, yeah, she was blowing up my game, which again, I can be naive in that aspect. And I genuinely give Hannah a lot of credit. She was playing the game, I think, a lot harder than I think she gives herself credit for, and obviously what I was giving herself credit for. And so you're asking like why did I like flip to vote Hannah, or you?
No, I'm asking. So you didn't know, you voted to protect Hannah, but she was the one that was blowing up your game. But the people sitting on the other side, we knew that I was going to be the one voted out. Because we knew all of your moves, we knew about your idol, we knew pretty much your entire game. So how did you, now being like feeling like defeated, how did you become more like, okay, I can still trust somebody in this game and I still have people to work with?
Personally, I didn't want to play my idol that night. I really didn't. I wanted to us 3 vote you, you 3 vote Hannah. Because I didn't completely trust her from some things she was showing me in the beginning. And then I had to think about the things that she was telling me. And I've been trying to play this with my heart, my emotions. You could probably see it on my face. Like, this is stressful. And I hate it because
Don't cry, girl.
I know. I'm just really like stressed out, so that's why. But it's like I hate burning these bridges with people, and I'm mad at myself for sure because I do feel backstabbed by Hannah. And the whole time that I told her in the beginning, I don't trust you after she changed the rowdy vote. She gave me no reason to distrust her. After that, she was telling me everything, and she came to me and she said, they want to put your name down. I said, okay, but I don't want to play. I want to use it at the final 5. I want to save myself. If it goes 3-3, that's fine. If you end up switching on me, then that's on me. That's my mistake. And I go home with an idol in my pocket. But I had really thought about, okay, Hannah has given me no more reasons to distrust her. She's been helping me through everything, so that's why I played the idol on her. And then come to find out, she was blowing up my game. You just lied to my face, and I've been playing this whole time with being honest with everybody, whether I was throwing your name out or if I was going to write your name down. And I couldn't do it. And so I looked at everything and I said, okay, Hannah's coming to me. She explained to me why she blew up my game. Still didn't understand it, but I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe I'm misunderstanding it. I wanted to talk to Nate about it. I wanted to hear what Sarah had to say. I wanted to hear what Robbie had to say. I wanted to hear what the hell happened because I didn't understand it. And I was full-blown voting on Sarah. Nate was like, you tell me what to do. And I said, okay. So I was upstairs giving my confessional, and I was going through every single thing in my process. This was the one way I could vote. This is the one way we could do this. We could go that way, or they could flip on me. And I started listing everything Hannah did, and I was like, holy shit. She's playing a big game, and I'm not giving her enough credit. She needed to go. And I trusted, and Sarah came to me, and Robbie came to me, and they said, we need to take her out. We didn't want her from a while, and I said, you know what? You're right. She's been loyal to me, but she just backstabbed the hell out of me. I told Nate, I'm voting Hannah. You can vote however way you want, but that's the way I'm going. And I felt that kind of gave me a little boost of confidence because I finally made a decision that I did all by myself without having to talk to other people about it. And like I said, my fault is I talk about everything that was going through my head, and I finally did this one on my own. And I think it proved the loyalty part of telling Nate what I was going to do, bringing Sarah back onto my side, bringing Robbie back onto my side, but unfortunately having to hurt Hannah, but she hurt me first.
Can I?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think with the Hannah thing, I think it was I agree. Alex did make her decision independently. I should say that. So I want that to be known. But I also think it was, like, everybody individually.
No, well, yeah.
Like, it was, like, a group consensus thing. Correct. So, like, yeah, but, like, we all voted the same way. I think it was mostly because Hannah had played a very successful double agent, almost to the point where I didn't know what side she was really playing on. I think she was super loyal to us. She played with us. We found Jerome's idol after I took him out. We all found his idol and then agreed to use it to take out you. She fed us the information at the end to help us switch the vote and make sure that happened. And then honestly, I just think it came to a point for me personally where Hannah or Sarah, I've been very upfront that I wanted to keep Sarah in the game. We voted Hannah, and I think that was pretty consensus decision, albeit for different reasons.
Yeah. And I will also speak to Hannah's vote. Robbie and I did approach Alex, because Alex, you initially, correct me if I'm wrong, thought it was Robbie that was blowing up your game.
That's what Hannah told me. So Hannah informed you that it was Robbie, and Robbie and I came in and told you, hey, you know, that is not what happened. Robbie and I informed you of that. So I in the way of you saying you brought Robbie and I in, maybe it's more so Robbie and I brought you in.
Well, that's not okay. I guess how I said it,
You didn't mean it that way.
That's not how I meant it, and I understand what you're. I get what you're saying.
I understand. I just wanted to clear up that.
All right, thank you guys. Who's up next?
Congrats. Honestly, I'm seeing Cuyahoga right here, and I'm happy about it. I'm not gonna lie. We bonded, really. We really bonded up there. I learned a lot about you guys, like, not even like game related. Like, I really did learn a lot about you guys. I come here all the time, but I don't ever, like, you know, sit down and actually talk with you guys and like actually learn things. So I fuck with the blue that I'm seeing. Okay? Sorry. I like the blue that I'm seeing on this couch right now. I think all of you guys have played a really solid game, and it's been fun. Jeff kind of sold me out and told everybody I've never seen a single episode of Survivor in my entire life. I had to ask Alex what an idol was before we even started playing. So I think that this was just a good way for me to kind of learn and grow and, you know, come back in the summer and kick some ass. So Alex, we're kind of already talking about it. So you've played a very good game. You have been, you know, you threw around that you were afraid of being messy a little bit, but that's, you know, sometimes that's the name of the game. I was being messy. I, at one point, had my hand in 3 different votes for people. I forgot what I was even telling people who to vote for. I was trying to get every separate group to trust me to the point where I didn't even know who the fuck I was going to vote for. Sorry. I blew up your game with Robbie because I didn't think it was going to matter. I thought I had him hook, line, and sinker voting for you. I thought I had all of them voting for you. And I was like, Idol is going to be used on Alex anyway. At that point, I was on your guys' side. I came up the stairs. As soon as I was done, like Jeff was calling us to the couch, and I headed up the stairs, and I heard a lot of laughter, and my heart sank to my stomach. I said, that Robbie, Maddie, they all betrayed me. I was like, I got a gut feeling. So that's why I told you to use the idol for me, because I knew that your name wasn't even going to be an issue.
Well, and you know what?
What's the question?
Well, can I actually?
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Okay.
No, I'm getting there. Sorry. So we've both stabbed each other in the back, clearly. So why save me and then stab me in the back? Why not just vote me out at that time when you knew that everybody else was voting for me? Why not use that idol for yourself?
Because I wanted to show my loyalty to you. Because I didn't know about you blowing up my game because you kept telling me it was Robbie. And so I was like, okay, it's Robbie. So when the moment, and then Sarah and Robbie were like, no, it's Hannah. And I was like, I'm so confused. So that's why I had to go upstairs. I'm like, I'm confused.
At that point, it was me with you guys.
Yes,
As soon as I heard them laughing, I was...
But Hannah, that's why I had to go back on you. Because as I was upstairs giving my confessional, I realized...
You let Robbie manipulate you.
You manipulated me. You did it. And that was impressive. And that's why I was like, you need to go.
I did it when No, I didn't intentionally manipulate
I know, but
you.
that's what I'm saying.
I intentionally manipulated a lot of people.
But Hannah, that's what I'm saying. You had a lot more credit than you gave yourself, and I realized it in that moment that, holy shit, Hannah's got a lot of people wrapped around her freaking finger, including me.
Too many.
I need to get you out.
Yeah.
And I told you,
Fair.
I didn't even want to use
That's
the idol
fair.
on you.
That's fair, yeah.
I kept looking at you and like, Hannah, I don't know. And you
So that was my question. It was just, why didn't you use it at that point? Why act like you were going to save me and that we were going to... No, you did. And I respect you for that. But then it's just like, why not just... You knew they were all going to vote for me. Why not let me go out and then just use the idol for yourself?
I didn't know, and so...
Later.
Wait, my confessional, he said, okay, it's time to vote. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking...
Was it Robbie that...
No, it was you. It was you.
I think Robbie had a hand in...
No.
in...
Okay, can I answer the question? Because I was...
All right, Rob. Okay. All right. So my question to you, I think it was frustrating that you saw me as like a strong player, and you as well. You've been a strong player. I think you've played this game great. But, all I was able to do is kind of hold a couple Oreos up on a stick better than Jerome. So just why wasn't I a solid enough player for you to want to form an alliance with?
Again, it goes back to what I initially said and kind of what you alluded to yourself, where you were playing this double agent role really well and you were doing a really good job. But you were doing it so well and at some point sharing enough information that I was really starting to question what side you were on.
You guys had me with Maddie.
100%.
Yeah.
And that was
Like,
super
that's where I
valuable. It
flipped
was
to you
super
guys, and I
valuable to us.
wasn't going, I wasn't straying.
And we needed to pull you in. You were a target at the time. It was a great idea. We found the idol together. So it was very useful for you to be with us for a few votes. But at the same time, when you were playing the double agent thing, you threw my name out there a lot. And when it gets to a point where, like, you're kind of oversharing what the plan is to try to trick the other side, it's like, okay, who is she with? I mean, you admitted to us you didn't know which group you would ultimately vote with. So I think it kind of became a thing where we really needed you. You were very important for our game. We wanted to work with you, but ultimately you had won 2 immunities. You were becoming the swing vote for all these votes, and it doesn't seem like you were even 100% sure if you were going to stay with us.
Okay.
Ultimately, Sarah had been generally very loyal to me, and when it came down to either you versus her, I felt it was better for my game to protect her.
That's fair. That's fair. I played too sneaky in the beginning. Okay. All right. Cool. Sarah. All right. You really never ever said that you were on my side, and clearly you meant that. So it was always like, oh, I'm in a tough spot, or like I don't know, it could go either way. So like you called my bluff, like definitely, like you knew what I was up to like the entire time. So I guess my question is not even just about me, because I think you've played a great game the entire time. Very calculated, like you said. But why haven't you stood up for yourself against Alex and Nate? You had so many opportunities to do that. Their alliance was so strong that it needed broken up in the beginning. That needed broken up in the beginning, and you had a chance to break it up.
I would have. The entire, which vote was it? Here, I wrote it down. The draw vote was supposed to be Alex. And I was on the right side of that until Nate played his idol.
Did you know Nate had the idol?
I did. But I didn't know.
You didn't know he was going to use it for Alex?
I didn't know.
Okay.
I didn't know that. So
that should make you,
I wasn't happy about it. We even talked afterward about that, what happened with that and how, he apologized and everything like that.
He reeled you back in. That's what he does.
Here's the thing, though.
She was going to leave me out of the vote.
Right.
Had a mutual
That's a good
understanding.
play.
Okay,
Good play.
He left me out. I left him out.
Good play.
And when it gets
good
back down
play.
to it, you need to have your alliances where you can have them, because
Yeah.
it really comes down to it, the people that you know. And the reason that I was willing to break them up then, I even said to multiple people, hey, you know what? I think that's fine. Let's go ahead and break Alex and Nate up. I'm fine with that. And I don't think either of you were ever fine with it. So if I would have had the numbers behind me, which we did, to break that up, it would have worked out. However, Nate flipped and I didn't know.
Yeah.
Left me out of that. So it was to the point, I wouldn't say that I was never willing to do it.
Yeah.
Because I definitely was.
I think I'm just disappointed because we knew about their alliance so early on, and we should have, even Maddie said, we should have worked way harder to break it up early on. We knew about it so early. Should have been.
And if people would have,
we should have cut that.
Got behind me for something like that, I
Yeah.
would have gone to do it. We had those discussions several times. It just never came to fruition. And again, you never want to be on the wrong side of the vote.
Yeah.
You want to be able to vote with the people that you know. Somebody is not going to go home, and it's not going to be you. That's the whole thing that it boils down to. As long as it's not you.
All right, cool.
If I could just really fastly add it, for anyone that's questioning my loyalty in the game, though, that actually made me realize that before Alex was even on the chopping block, it was your name that was brought up. They wanted me to cut you out, and I defended you fiercely.
And I appreciate
and that made them want to turn on Alex. So for anyone that's saying that, respectfully, I think you did play a loyal game, but anyone questioning that my game was less loyal, I fought to keep both of them, even when one of them wasn't being loyal to me.
Not to me.
And then I chose to keep her around after the fact and continue to work with her.
But would you say
And
you
we're still
flipped
sitting.
every single other vote to be sure it wasn't me?
Actively, your name was brought up numerous
Well,
times.
no. I mean specifically for that vote.
For that vote? No, I'm not.
Okay.
Well, I mean, Jerome and Maddie and Robbie wanted to vote for Sarah initially, and I said no. And then they said, okay, they're too tight. That's Nate's number one. We'll pull Sarah in, but we're cutting out Alex. Point was, I didn't want to take a lot of extra time, but my point was the loyalty aspect. I defended both people, and not only did I defend them both, I kept them both here the whole time, even when people weren't necessarily showing the same loyalty back to me. So
Yeah, and I want to speak to it now. I'm sorry.
I mean, if you can,
But I won't discount that. I do appreciate that, and I would have broken up again. I would have helped break them up if I had had the numbers, but I never did. And it's about being on the right side of the vote.
I think it's just a funny note. I didn't know because Jeff didn't say who the last vote. I don't know how it was worded, but I thought the votes were 3-2 Sarah when I was voted out. I didn't know it was 4-1 me. So I didn't find out till 2 a.m. last night that Nate actually voted for me. That's why I was pissed at Alex. I left so pissed at Alex, and then even in my confessional, I was like, yeah, like Nate had my back, like fuck Alex. And then I'm like, the vote was 4-1.
I will say to that, it was I was part of the swing, but it was a group consensus, and in that vote, I've already admitted I
Yeah,
did not.
I get what swung
I did
you.
not have the
Yep.
power to swing the numbers regardless. So
I get it.
All right.
Another fruitful juror.
Okay.
You're gonna sell me that though.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to Kevin.
Hello, you three. What up? So I'm going to first start out. I'm going to preface it with each relationship I had with each of you during this game. At the merge, I specifically came to Alex, Hannah, and Robbie for help when we were down in the numbers, and the first person that was brought up was Nate. Obviously, it never got to that point, so was lied to by Alex in this game. When I was in desperation, I came to Nate. I said, hey, man, can we at least have a conversation? And Nate shut me down immediately and refused to have a conversation with me. So as a result, I will have no questions for you this evening since you weren't willing to talk to me. And Sarah, we never really had a chance to play together, so no loyalty to me and no hate against you for playing this game. So statements about some previous statements, Alex, I was writing down. So if Hannah told you to use your idol, how are you claiming that to be your move?
That's not my move. My move was getting Hannah out.
Yeah, but you used an idol to save Hannah, but you claimed that move as yours prior, but you had to be directed to in order to use that idol.
I didn't use the idol move as my move. Not once did I say that.
You said that earlier when you were explaining to Jerome.
I said no. I said getting Hannah out. I didn't want to use my idol. That's on them. They told me. I straight up said I want to get Hannah. I do not claim the idol vote for Hannah.
Okay. Well, thank you for the clarification on that. You also said that you were scared when you were talking with Jerome, or when Jerome was up here. You said you were scared of working with Jerome's alliances because of or being in alliance with Jerome because he had a good relationship with Nate and Maddie. However, as I stated earlier, we literally came to you at the merge for help, so I don't understand how you can claim that it would be hard to work with us if we came to you for help.
I didn't say it was hard to work for you. I didn't even say it was hard. I said I didn't trust Jerome. There's a difference between it being hard and the difference of trust. And that's my point. I don't know where this whole lying thing came from. I never told you that I was voting for Nate.
That was a name that was brought up to me in there. That's literally a reason as to why I'm the only person that wrote Nate's down in this game.
Kevin, I never mentioned Nate's name. I stood there, but I never said his name once. I told you, and I was loyal to you in this point, you need to panic. I said they're talking about your name in our group.
Right.
I told you that. So you can't come at me and say that Nate's name was brought up out of me. It wasn't.
No, when we talked in a group, and I didn't say by you specifically, but I said that name was brought up, and that's the consensus that was brought to it.
Okay, yeah, but
Again, I think everybody, at least that was talking to me even pre-game, it was not my idea solely to target you at the beginning, and I didn't even really have that intent started going into that vote until I heard that you were actively targeting me as well. So yes, I apologize that I did not respectfully offer you more of an opportunity to talk. But at the late hour before tribal, I thought it was very clear we were targeting each other. That was clearly your plan. I asked you, if it's not me, what is another option you'd be okay with doing? And nobody was willing to bring up another name. You still wrote my name down, so my thought process is that you thought that at least some people were going to go along with
Oh, yeah,
it.
of course.
And that was still the intent.
Yeah.
So again, it wasn't anything personal. I just felt like obviously we were targeting each other. Why even there was so much going on? Why would we even waste the time? I did ask if there was somebody else that we could write down, and we couldn't come up with anything. So I apologize if you felt disrespected in that moment. That was not my intent. It was just you were a big threat in the game, and once you threw my name out, I think everyone was like, okay, maybe we just use this opportunity to take Kevin. So
Okay. Not hasn't been a question for Sarah yet. No, all good, all good, all good. And then I do wanted to ask Alex one last time, if Nate played everybody like a fiddle like you claimed earlier, why didn't you go against that one person and take him out like you claimed you could have?
Take him out?
Yeah.
I didn't want to. I couldn't. I didn't. I've told you, everyone from the beginning, I am playing with honesty, loyalty, and trust. That is what I've been trying to do this whole time. And yeah, sometimes it's not gonna work exactly the way I want it to. But the moment he saved me, I came into this wanting to work with him. And I said it, I could be swayed either way. I want to hear all the options. I want to hear all the conversations. I want to hear what could be used to benefit you or benefit me. And if he needed to go, he needed to go. But the moment he played his idol for me, which I didn't know he was going to do until the very last second when he said, vote for Jerome. I said, okay, he is legit. He is not swaying me, and I can't sway him. And I give him respect for that, and that's how I'm giving myself respect in that answer too.
Okay. Thank you. And then on to Sarah. On the opposite, no, I've got a question for Sarah. Obviously, you played a very under the radar game. We've all talked about that. It's kudos to your playing by getting here, by the way. And obviously, from the outside looking in, I know I said we didn't really have a chance to play together, but it looked to be a very loyal game. So for that loyalty aspect of your game, I would like to know if there ever was a number one that you had in this game. And if so, who and how did that work to your benefit? And if not, was it the way that you strategized to get that way?
Sure. I would say that I played a fairly loyal game in a couple different ways. I see a lot of people pairing Nate and I together, and I can absolutely understand that. Nate and I did play well together, and I also played well with Maddie. Maddie and I spent a lot of time talking about things, and I feel like she shared a lot of information with me, so I feel like I had loyalties where they needed to be in rooms where they would protect me. Like Nate had said, he protected me in that vote, and that's, I mean, I keep circling back to this, but you gotta have the alliances where you gotta have them.
Yeah.
And it's always to protect yourself. It's always to make sure that your name is kept out of other people's mouths to ensure that I am still sitting here today. So, I worked well with Nate. I appreciate what he has done to, and assist me in this process here. However, I wouldn't say that we were completely loyal. I would say that our games were parallel.
I was loyal to you. But
Yes, yeah. Nate was loyal to me. I don't know if I was always entirely loyal to Nate or Maddie. So, again, alliances where you gotta have them.
That's all I've got.
All right. Brenna. Come on up.
I don't.
One close.
So, I was the first one voted out, as we all know. So I didn't really get the chance to work with any of you. Oh, okay. But I have one question, same question for all of you. If you win, what are you going to use the prize money on?
Kevin's birthday gift.
Okay.
And someone.
Birthday, Kevin.
Kevin's birthday resignation.
Probably either a handgun or cryptocurrency. No, I'm a big investor, but also I've been going for a.
Hey, quiet in the jerseys.
No, so we'll see what happens, but yeah, I mean it'll be used for something responsible.
Oh. I'll be honest, I'm probably gonna buy groceries with it.
Groceries are expensive. You gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, well, congratulations and good luck.
Just read a bend or something. I don't know that.
Jeff, you gotta take care of that, then.
I will. Okay, Robbie,
Last and final.
final juror, round us out.
Nice buffs, guys. I miss mine. So I will just start off and say that, I had a question, but it kind of got talked about in nauseum. So say as much or as little as you want about this. But, there were 2 idle plays used by 2 of you that were on a different person. And a lot of us were talking about how kind of unorthodox the idle plays were. Alex, you used on somebody who you voted out the next week. Nate, you used it on Jerome, who you were working pretty closely with, or used it on Alex so that you could backdoor Jerome, who you were working pretty closely with, pretty much cutting out a big alliance member. So defend as much or as little as you want. You've already talked about that play, so we can just skip this one and CBS can cut it out.
I was gonna say I did Hannah because Hannah backstabbed me, or I wouldn't have voted Hannah out.
Yeah, no, my move again. I really just felt like I needed to keep Alex in the game at the time, and once I found out I was being left out, it became a pretty easy decision. Again, like I said, Jerome was the target because he had the idol, and I didn't want to have somebody above me in a position of power. So we took out Jerome, and then we found his idol down here, the 3 of us, and I ended up aligning myself with 2 people to use that idol in my favor and take out another big threat. So I think advantages were a very big part of this game, and I think my game was all around the advantages. So
I didn't play an idol.
That's because question 2 is for Sarah. Sarah, I felt like we had a pretty good alliance at some point in the middle of the game. And at one point, it started to feel like as the days went on, you were working closer with Nate than me and Maddie. And I felt like I no longer had you as alliance member. Can you walk me through how you maneuvered your relationships in this game and how they benefited your game?
Sure. So I think Maddie touched on this a little bit as well, that yes, I did play closely with you. I played closely with Maddie. I played closely with Nate. And it's to keep... I wanted to stay in the rooms where the conversations were being held. I wanted to have a friend in the rooms where those important conversations were happening. You and I were on the same side of a lot of votes. You and I didn't really break apart here until the very end, that very last vote. And you and I kind of chatted about that as well, like as to why that needed to happen. But it's just to ensure that you have a friend in every room. And I think that's extremely important.
And then my final question is basically, let's run a scenario where I am one of the 3 sitting next to you, and you're pleading to a different jury member. How do you deserve to win sitting next to me in the game?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. I think you have much better relationships with people on the jury than I do. I'm happy that you're not sitting here, honestly, because of that. I think I knew it was over for you and I working together when Maddie came to me and vehemently said, "There's no way we're getting rid of Robbie. There's no chance." It was clear that you were number 1. So at that point, when I knew that you 2 were working that closely together and were aligning on votes that I was not in on, such as the Alex vote, I just kind of figured that there wasn't going to be a great opportunity to bring you back in. I think the way you played and the fact that I kind of switched up the votes and was part of the surprises is why, I'm kind of on edge right now with my fate in the jury's hands. I think you would have been in a much better position. So definitely would have had my work cut out for me.
Either or.
Either or.
Okay. So, Robbie, I think that you and I played very similar games. I think you had a lot of people in your hands that you were, again, friend in every room. I think you had a friend in every room in the same way that I did. And that's why I didn't want to be sitting next to you. I didn't want to have the same argument as you. And so I think that's ultimately what led to the decision here at the end as to why I don't want to sit next to you, because I think our stories are too similar. I don't know who's going to vote for who over who between you and I. And so I just wanted to make sure that there was only one option.
But if it were me as one of the 3 here, what would your speech be to vote for you over me?
Vote for me over you?
Yeah. How would you try to get votes if I was still in the final 3?
Oh, if you were still here in the final 3? I would have, I would have, again, played to the fact that you and I played very similar games. However, you definitely had the underdog arc, I feel like. And I mean that in the most respectful way. I really do. I think that you could have come out and beaten all of us in that way. And I think that my game on top of yours is that I might have had the better relationships between the two of us. I hate to say I know more people in the room, but I feel like I was playing the different cards a little bit better, talking to everybody, making sure I had a conversation with everyone.
Thank you.
I mean, I've sat here and said that I don't think I could have beat you, but if I had to like really focus on something, it would be the fact that I was on the right side of everything, and when it came back to you were on the wrong side, or it should have been a move you were on the right side, it came back and you kind of seemed like you were scrambling a little bit in some ways of okay, what do I do? I really want to work with you, but I want to work with him, and then but I don't know this. So it seemed like that the way you played wasn't efficient to the fact of like, yeah, you had all these great relationships and that's awesome, but you never were on the right side of the boat, if I remember correctly.
I got Kevin out.
Okay, yes. Okay, Kevin, sorry. You were really flustered after that with the whole Robbie thing. We had to calm you down from that aspect and explain that insurance of it was just a fluke. And in the end, it was just the relationships, and then everything else besides that, there was nothing you had on your resume. And you told me that upstairs.
Satisfied.
From what I was told, a lot of you don't respect me in my game, and that's completely fair and completely valid, but I hope you guys do respect the fact that I did go into this with loyalty and heart, that I wanted to play this game, and if you don't believe it, you don't believe it. I don't know how much else to prove it. I appreciate you guys, all of you dearly, and I respect any decision you guys make, and I know you guys will make the right one, and that is what it is.
Yeah, I just want to take one last opportunity to say I respect both of your games. I'm happy that we played this game together. I want to start with, I think if you look at the three of us up here, you cannot tell the story of either of their games without mine. I think we all worked together. Everybody had their own voices, but I think both of them leaned on me equally as much, if not more, than I needed them. To run through a few of the highlights, I was on the right side of every vote. I knew every advantage in the game. Everybody was working with me. Even Maddie, who I never voted with once, was upstairs fighting to help keep me in the game. I had everybody that wanted to be loyal to me. I was only written down one time, and it was by my first target who went home that same night. I wanted the three of us to play together the entire game, and even though that's not what everyone else wanted, that's exactly how it worked out, and that's exactly how, things went exactly the way I intended them to. I don't say any of this to be cocky. I know people think that I played some sort of like copy villain arc. I really don't feel like that's the case. I just feel like I made calculated, measured moves. I clearly put trust in people that trusted me back, and that got me to where I am. So, thank you.
And I will say the same too, Blake. Congratulations, sir. It's totally on time, and it's great to be sitting next to two great players here on the couch here at the end. I will say too that again, people may think I was brought here, and I had the opportunity. We could have flipped on each other. We could have changed up the votes. We could have done this, done that, but you had to put your faith in the right rooms, and people might not have seen me as a threat, but maybe they should have up until this point. And I didn't want to play flashy game. I didn't want to play a dramatic game. I didn't want to make big moves. I wanted to be well informed during my game. I wanted to know what was going on in the different rooms, and sometimes maybe that didn't work as well as it should have. There were people that flipped in ways that I didn't expect. However, I am still sitting here on this couch in the final three. So I just wanted to show you my ability to work with the crowd and play the long game.
Well, I was just going to say thank you, everyone. That was a very fruitful, use that word, final tribal council. Now I'm going to ask the jury members to go vote for a winner, wait for producer Eric to set up the camera in there, and then we will vote and officially crown the winner. All right, again, thank you everybody for a great season, a great final tribal council. This was a lot of fun. I hope you guys had as much fun playing as I did hosting. Now we're going to go ahead and vote. Jury, these are votes for a winner. Make sure you know that. These are votes for a winner. You're not voting anybody out anymore, okay? You are voting for the winner of the inaugural season of Survivor Lakewood. So with that, we'll go ahead, cue the music. I'll police you guys and make sure you're not discussing with each other. As I've done throughout this whole game, you'll go in or cast your vote, and then we will reveal the winner.
I think you played a better game than a lot of people are giving you credit for. You played a loyal game from what I saw and from what you explained. Good job. Sarah.
You played the best game by far. You took me out, and I gotta give you credit for it. You took me out, you knew we were both huge threats, you got me, and I have to give you credit for that. Alex, Sarah, you played good too, but you definitely played the best, Nate. Congrats, bro. You're gonna win.
All right. So I'm voting Sarah. I really thought I was going to be voting Alex, but the Q&A answers changed my mind. And let me see what a good game that Sarah actually played. Good luck.
I'm voting for Nate because I think that he played a really good game, getting two really good, trustworthy people to trust him, and dragging them all the way up through the finish. And he even got me to trust him. And I think sometimes you have to play a little bit dirty to get to that point. But at the end of the day, I think all of his explanations were very well thought out. I thought he had good answers to what everybody was at. All questions were asked to him. I actually flipped from Sarah to him. So, sorry, Sarah.
All right, everybody. Again, congratulations on a great season. I will go ahead and read the votes. These are votes for a winner. You want to see your name on the parchment this time. First vote, Sarah. That's one vote, Sarah. Nate, one vote, Sarah, one vote, Nate. Nate, it's two votes, Nate, one vote, Sarah. Sarah, that's two votes, Sarah, two votes, Nate. Nate, that's three votes, Nate, two votes, Sarah. Sarah, that's three votes, Sarah, three votes, Nate. The winner of the inaugural season of Survivor Lakewood, Sarah.
I don't know. Your hands are sweaty too. Yeah. Oh, thank you, jury.
All right, okay, all right.
Go get your groceries.
Yeah, thanks for everybody for paying for my groceries.
Whoa! Fucking asshole. Go buy your own fucking lunch.
Okay.
Fucking asshole. Free fucking lunch.
Good job, jury.
Shit.
You played a really good game.